Guys, so I'm sure you guys have all heard about all the castings that have come out about the upcoming reboot to Street Fighter. Now, I'm not a big person that normally talks about castings because for me, they're just castings. I mean, they don't mean anything. It's all going to come down to the actor's portrayal in a specific type of role, as far as how good or bad it would be, and just kind of judging if it's going to be a good casting based off their previous work. It doesn't really make sense because we already had stuff like the 1990 Batman with Michael Keaton, where everybody thought, "Oh my God, he's ruining the movie." And then we got to the reboot of Batman with Christian Bale, and everybody, "Oh God, he's gonna ruin the movie." And then we got to Heath Ledger as Joker, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's gonna ruin the movie." And then we got to the Suicide Squad, where we had what's that dude's name? I'm sure it's on the screen somewhere. With that casting in the Joker, and they were like, "Oh my God, he's gonna ruin the movie," and they were right. But either way, I really don't care about the castings going forward. I kind of want to see what they do on screen. I want to see a trailer. I want to see some movie clips before I really want to make my determination of if the casting was good or not. So with that being said, we're going to talk about castings and talk about if these are good castings or not. But my first thought I want to say, it really doesn't matter who they cast in these particular roles because they got to be better than what they did in the 1995 version. Jeez, they got the casting so wrong in that film. I think the only one that kind of made sense was Jean-Claude Van Damme. And yes, I am a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. But his was the only one that made sense. He was a big star at that particular point in time. He was a great martial artist. And it just made sense for Guile. Until you heard him speak with a Belgian accent, then it was all wrong. It didn't make sense at all. So we're going to talk about the ones that we've known about coming out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that's going to come out unless some of the bigger roles are going to end up being smaller parts, which is a possibility, I guess. But let's go ahead and talk about it. I want to say first and foremost that there are some ones where I'm like, okay, it makes sense. It checks, it tracks. But there's some other ones where like, what?
What?
Either way, let's get the ones off the ones that actually do track. So we're going to go with the first one with Ryu, with Andrew Koji. And for me, I didn't watch the I think it's an AMC TV show or something like that, or A&E TV show that he's in, where he's a martial artist and kind of traveling the country. I didn't watch that, but I heard good things about it. I only know him from playing Storm Shadow in the god-awful Snake Eyes film. So I'm at least glad that he is a martial artist for the most part, for at least a movie martial artist that I can, or a TV martial artist that we can tell so far. Hey, it checks. I'm okay with him being Ryu. I mean, it's probably wanted him a little bit more muscular, but hey, people talked about the Mortal Kombat stuff too, where Liu Kang was a little bit undersized. So I mean, he'll beef up, whatever. We'll move on. Next person on here, Ken Masters, Noah Centineo, Centino. Sorry, Noah, I may have mispronounced your last name. And he, I only know him from Adam Smasher from Black Adam. I looked at his IMDb and other movies that he did. I have not seen any of those particular films. So I only know him from Adam Smasher, and it was not really a big part. He was just mostly CGI, and he had like some quips and stuff like that. So playing Ken Masters, I guess, is okay. He has black hair and Ken has blonde hair, but we all know from the video games that Ken dyes his hair blonde because he has black eyebrows. So hey, that tracks. I guess that'll be okay. He's a young actor. It can make sense. Even though Rio's gonna look significantly older than him, we'll let it go. Movie magic. All right. Next person on here, we have Chun-Li, and that's gonna be played by Kalina Liang. Now, I've only seen her in The Presence, and I just recently watched that particular movie. So when her name popped up, I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Not that she did anything athletic in it. It wasn't an action film. It was a horror film. But she's Asian American. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't know what her specific descent is, if she's Chinese or not, but who cares? It's a movie. She's Asian enough to play Chun-Li. Hopefully she starts working out her legs, so that way we can all get the fan service that we definitely want from our Chun-Li character. Those three track. Those make sense. This is kind of where I'm like, I wonder what they were thinking with that. As we move on, we're going to go first on to Balrog, or M. Bison, whatever version of the game that you guys want to look at. Don't at me in the comments, please. We all know that there's two differences. But this is actually going to be played by 50 Cent. And yes, I know 50 Cent has come a long way with his acting, but as Balrog? Yeah, I know he trains as a boxer, and I think when he was a lot younger, he actually did box as an amateur. Okay, I will give you that one. Yes, he does as a martial artist. I'll give him that. He actually can perform the moves. But when you see the pictures of Balrog, aka M Bison, the Mike Bison, you would say that 50 cents is kind of undersized. But hey, everybody works out. Everybody can be patted on. Movie magic. I guess I'll let that one go. But it is surprising that they went with 50 Cent. So we got Andrew Koji, Noah Centino, and Kalina Liang going along with 50 Cent. So right now, it's not big budget, which is where I want my Street Fighter film to be. I don't want it to be big budget because then it becomes too much expectation out of it. And if it's a lower thing, it doesn't have to do a lot of money to be successful and get a sequel. Also, too, the hate on it because it's a video game movie. And I know we've had some great video game properties like The Last of Us, and I guess Super Mario Brothers. Not the god awful movie with Kevin Hart and stuff like that. But either way, there have been some good things in video game movies, and the bar has been raised. But I don't want the bar to be raised too high on my Street Fighter movie. Look, I've been waiting a long time to get this. The Legend of Chun-Li really kind of derailed this IP for a while, so I really want this to have a moderate success at the very least. Moving on. The next casting I saw was Akuma, which is interesting for the first Street Fighter film. Even in the 1995 one, they had Akuma for it, but he actually didn't make it into the film. They didn't actually put him in until they did the video game version of the movie where they added Akuma in. So it is interesting that they're going right to Akuma. Unless they're going to do some prequel type stuff going into this particular film, this has to be like Super Street Fighter 2 or Ultra Street Fighter 2 at this particular point. And if that's the case, we need a lot more characters for this particular movie. But with that being said, Roman Reigns as Akuma, I guess, if he doesn't talk, because Akuma doesn't really speak that much. There's a lot of and grunts and death type deal. I guess Roman Reigns could do that. He hasn't really been in much acting stuff unless you want to count WWE as acting. Yes. Wrestling's not real. Either way, I guess he can do it and just be a physical presence because he's a big man. And it's like, so it's not like he can't play Akuma, but I don't want to see a long dialogue with Akuma with Roman Reigns playing him. All right, next person on the list, we're gonna go Blanca, and that's being played by Jason Momoa. And I gotta say, did Jason Momoa turn down the Akuma role because he thought he was gonna get more speaking lines with Blanca? Is like the two people who kind of look alike. I guess, don't at me, I'm not being racist, are playing roles where they're not supposed to speak much and are big names enough to get people to come watch the movie that they're not going to speak much, or is Blanca really going to have a lot to say? I question though. Jason Momoa and his hair and his facial hair look doesn't really fit Blanca. I mean, you want to say, hey, Blanca has long hair, Jason Momoa has long hair, but Blanca has long, straight, colored hair. Is Jason Momoa gonna do this? Is Jason Momoa gonna shave his face? Is Jason Momoa gonna make my Blanca talk? I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but you know, it's questions. All right. Now, Jason Momoa on board of this film now just got expensive because I'm sure he is not asking for a little money to do this film. Though he is a person that likes to do fun roles, he may do it just for the simple fact of doing the role. But yeah, my budget just went high. I'm a little worried about this movie already. So moving forward, we have Vega. Vega being played by Orville Peck. I only know him by looking him up because Orville Peck, I was like, I don't even know who this is. He's a country singer who wears a mask. And I guess they were like, wouldn't that be funny? If we just get a guy who already wears a mask to wear a mask or to play a character who wears a mask all the time. I look, guys, look, Vega's a big character and his character is a certain way. He's a pretty boy with long hair and his muscular stature and his tall stature. So this one seems a little bit as like, hey, we just thought it was funny we do this casting. I don't know how good this country singer can act. I hope he can do really, really well, but it is surprising they went with this particular character, with this particular actor, celebrity, to play this particular part. Now, the last one that we've actually been confirmed as casting, and that is David That's the Malchian. And if I mess that up, David, I'm very, very sorry because you guys have some hard names for me to pronounce. But he is being cast as M. Bison or Vega. Don't at me. Um, in this movie. This gives me signs of Raul Julia. Now, some people will say Raul Julia was the best part of the 1995 Street Fighter film. I will say depends on how you look at that movie. If you looked at that movie as just a cheesy film and you weren't a big person who wanted something to major out of that film, then Raul Julia was comedic relief. Not what I really want for my M. Bison. So I hope David plays this one a little bit more serious, but with the casting that I'm seeing right now, I don't think this is going to be a serious movie. I think this movie is going to be something that they think is going to be fun. People will go see it, and it doesn't have to be something that makes a lot of sense. It just has to have people we know to go see this movie, and then maybe people will go see it in a property that people knows. So he is on the slender side. If you remember from The Dark Knight Rises, I think that's what he was in. He was one of the Joker. No, I'm sorry, The Dark Knight. He was one of the guards that at the funeral who worked for Joker. He was also Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad. So it is very interesting that he has kind of stayed in this lane of playing, I guess, fictional cartoon, anime, video game, comic book characters. But this is a leading role for him. So I'm expecting him to do something interesting in this particular role. It's a big break for him to be the actual face of this franchise going forward, if we can call it a franchise. So also too, M. Bison's kind of big, and like I said, he's a slender guy, so I'm a little iffy about that. Like I said, it gives me Raul Julia vibes, but Raul Julia didn't fit the physical presence of M. Bison, but he had some great one-liners, especially the Tuesday one.
The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Now, one that they haven't quite confirmed, which is still kind of up in the air, and I can't think of the guy's name. Well, the character I know, and that's Guile. Hey, are they going to get Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, they should though. They really should go get Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let's tie this all back in, and then just make this a sequel to the original one. But either way, they are looking at either Cody Rhodes, which then makes this movie mostly a wrestling film at that particular point. And I know we used to say that we should have had John Cena as Shazam along with The Rock as Black Adam, and that was basically going to be a wrestling movie, but it would have been perfectly and physically cast. I'm questioning having Cody Rhodes play Guile. Not that I don't think that he can do it, and I think with the right haircut and clothes and stuff like that, Cody Rhodes probably could do a really, really good job with this. But it does give me a lot of wrestling. This is becoming a wrestling movie as opposed to just becoming a Street Fighter movie. Other person is, and I can't think of his name right now, I'll put it on screen, the guy from Jack Reacher. This dude is massive. Why not make him Bison? Why not make him M. Bison? I don't understand that. Why they would go with David, you know his last name, to go as M. Bison and not pick the Jack Reacher guy. That would have made so much more sense to me. But I think when they reached out to him on Twitter or something like that, he said he was up to do it, but nothing's has been confirmed yet. But out of the two, I'd probably go Cody Rhodes and then just recast him as M. Bison. Now, those are all the castings that we know about. There's probably going to be more, especially when San Diego Comic-Con actually starts. These are castings, so I'm sure they haven't filmed anything yet, so we're not going to get a trailer. If anything, we might just get a title screen or something like that. But it is interesting to hear more about this movie going forward. Now, my big questions going on here, or my big takeaways from these castings, is that there is not a lot of martial artists in this film. Like I said, we were going to give them 50 Cent because he was an amateur boxer. And we're going to give them Andrew Koji because we know he has done martial art films before. So that's really it. In a game that's based on martial arts and a movie based on a game based on martial arts, it is very strange that they haven't cast a lot more martial artists. Now, you could make that argument and say, hey, Terrence, what about Matrix? None of them were martial artists. That they actually sent there and trained them how to do the martial arts, so that way they look proficient on screen. You are right. That is a good thing that could happen out of this. But they had a big budget for Matrix. I don't think they have that budget here for Street Fighter because it's probably all going to go to Jason Momoa. So with that being said, I am not looking forward to the action scenes in here. I'm thinking they're going to be bad. I'm looking at Dead or Alive, where the action scenes in a movie where they had a bunch of people cast in there who weren't martial artists, and the action scenes were horrible. Or let's say Tekken, where they had a movie based on a martial arts game with a bunch of people who couldn't do martial arts. They had other people to be the people that they beat, no martial arts, but it wasn't enough to actually sell me on the particular scenes. Or, hey, if you really want to go back, let's go back to Double Dragon, where they had Mark Dacascos. Mark Dacascos. He was the only martial artist on that film, and that film was god awful. In a video game, in a movie about a video game about martial artists, they had one martial artist, and then the rest of the martial arts was horrible. Even the choreography on his martial arts wasn't that great either. All right. Those were my big takeaways about these castings. I'm going to stop trashing this because I don't know. I don't know what this is going to come out to be. This could be the greatest Street Fighter film of all time, or it could be the worst. And we could be challenging the Legend of Chun-Li for worst Street Fighter film or worst video game movie. Nothing's going to be Double Dragon. Let me just say that right now. Nothing's going to be Double Dragon. But with that being said, put your comments in the below what you guys think about the castings. Get off my back and ask me about what I think. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And if this is the first time you're on the channel, make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other things that we do on the channel. I'm getting better. There's been multiple videos that I dropped now. Hopefully we'll continue that into next week. But it's the 4th, so give me a minute. You guys take care.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch this show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.